My name is Brian Rourke. We're in my bike shop in Burslem, which is in Stoke-on-Trent. We're sitting in the bar here now, which has obviously got, I don't know, a few hundred photographs of all the great champions. Over the years, people have given me stuff or I've collected it. We have Tom Simpson's World Championship jersey, which is, there's only about 10 of those around, I think. Even as far as 2 years ago, a guy came in and said, I've got Reg Harris's, an original Reg Harris vest, which is, Reg was 5 times world champion. So that's nice. Cipollini's 98 Tour de France bike. Yeah, that's when I was 40, and that's David Duffield with his hand on my shoulder there. I run a charity ride every year, which is called the Rourke's Cat and Fiddle Challenge. We've had as many as 1,500 riders in that, and over 10 years, every year Sean Kelly comes. Sean's a great guy, lovely man, a real good friend. He's come every year for 10 years, and we've actually raised for cystic fibrosis £400,000. And we've had same again. We've had Nick Halls come up to Dun Riders. Malcolm Elliott comes every year. Really another nice guy, you know. They're all tough bike riders, and off the bike, they're just lovely people. We're very proud of it, you know. Obviously, I've always done the measure-ups all my life. I think that's why we've been successful from early days, because people believed in me and what I was doing, and I have been around the bike game a long time, and I've always cared about sitting people. I don't like just selling people a bike. I like them to sit on it properly and be in complete control of it, and have a good position and be comfortable on it, as well as being able to race at the highest level. It's all about leverage over the pedals, not being too high, not being too low, having the bike that you've got floppy arms, but you can really get hold of the thing when you're really trying hard on it. Or another guy will come in, he might want a touring bike to ride at 10 mile an hour. But we always do every customer individually. 2 people could have the same measurements. One could be a Tour de France rider, and one could be a guy who's going around the shops and, I don't know, just 10 mile a week on it. They're not going to have the same bike. So we find out what people are going to use it for, what they're likely to use it for, whether they're carrying too much weight. And usually they lose that anyway when they've got a good bike, because they love it and ride it a lot, and the weight comes down anyway. I spent £4,000 on a jig, 20 years ago. I was so disappointed with it. I bought the jig because Bernardino had a lot of input into it, and he was my big hero, so I thought, that would be great. But then when I bought the jig, when I bought the complete setup, I was measuring people up and looking how I did it now, and I thought, this is way out. When it went anyone above like an inch and a half bigger than me, and it went so that the bike wasn't even, I didn't think it was anywhere near right for that person, you know. Anyway, I had 2 professional riders in, and I measured them up on the jig, and I said to them, I'm not happy with what this jig's saying for you, you know. They said, we've already been measured up by that. We don't want it done by that. We want it done by the way you do it. So I've always kept to it since. I still think, obviously you need a lot of experience to do it, but I still think I've got it right. Well, we do a good job anyway. I'm pretty confident of that. The best thing about Stoke-on-Trent, you can get out of it in 5 minutes. You've got the Peak District, you've got the Cheshire Plains, you've got all Market Drayton, Shrewsbury, Wales, quite close to. It's got to be one of the best it's ideal for a professional, you know, you're in the middle of the country, you can get round. It's, I love Stoke, I'm a Stoke lad, and I just love the place.
So for Rapha, we've built an 853, we've TIG welded it, and for make it just sort of a bit nicer to look at, we've silver solder, sort of filleted all the welds to make it look sort of uncluttered and clean, really. We tend to recommend TIG for a lot of the frames now, because it also doesn't restrict us with lugs, you see, so we can change the geometry more than usual. Also, the strength really is it doesn't use too much heat, so it doesn't destroy any of the heat treatment processes that the tube manufacturers have put in. So, like 953, if you bronze welded that together, you could lower the strength of the tube to just ordinary chromoly tubing, but with TIG welding, it keeps virtually all the strength in the tubing, then it's twice as strong as titanium. But like the Rapha frame we're building now, we've TIG welded that for strength, which is important because Graham's a big lad as well. But we've silver solder filleted, so it looks really smooth and uncluttered. It looks a bit nicer as well, you know. And it's still strong, and the silver solder, with that having such a low temperature melt, it's covering the welds, but it's not really taking any strength from the tube again, you know. So TIGging and silver soldering seems to do a stronger frame. Graham will get the best sort of use out of this frame, particularly when people are tall like Graham or really small, like, you know, that's the people who really benefit from a made to measure frame as well, you know.